The third beta of the new iOS 27 is finally here, and of course it brings a ton of new features and changes to iOS. Like finally you can go to Siri under the settings app and you will be able to customize the Siri voice. So when you go here, you will have now the ability to customize your Siri voice. And right here it says you'll hear the voice in Siri, Maps, and Safari. So basically, anywhere you go on iOS, you will have the voice, which you can set right here with these sliders. So you will have two different sliders that allow you to adjust the voice. And you will have here male and female. So basically you will be able to switch between them. And then you have a check mark there. Once you're done, you tap that, and then that voice will actually be saved, and that will be the Siri voice for your device, which as you can see right there, you will also find that voice on the Maps app and on Safari as well. Now, another thing with Siri on iOS 27 Beta 3, you will notice right here the UI that you see at the top at the dynamic island right there has actually been slightly modified, so it has like a colorful reflection, which looks pretty cool. Now on the home screen here we have a couple of changes. So we talked on the previous video about a change here on the icon for reminders, and we also now have a change for the feedback icon, which both of them have basically gotten more liquid glass on their icons. And now on iOS 27, when you go to your control center and you have your cellular data connected and your Wi-Fi connected, you will be able to see both of them right here. Now, if you have a device that is not on iOS 27 Beta 3, but any other older version, you will notice that once you connect to your Wi-Fi, it will actually remove the status of your cellular connection and it won't show on the control center. Now, finally, Apple has made this very small change, but that I think is very cool to have. You can now see the status of both your connections. And under the AirPods settings, now you get the volume slider right here. So you will basically have here the AirPods settings that you have at the top of your settings app. If you go there, you will have an audio adjustment slider directly into the listening mode interface right here. So if you're using one of the listening modes here, you will be able to see basically the volume slider here. Let's go ahead and connect the AirPods here. So there's the slider. You will be able to basically adjust the volume now directly from this menu. On the Notes app, when you go to the front page here, you will now have there a new button that just sits here besides the edit button, which actually allows you to quickly create a new folder. So you tap right there and you will be able to basically create quickly a new folder for your notes. We have a few changes here for the Shortcuts app. First of all, when you go to the Shortcuts app, you see this plus button right here. This replaces the new shortcut button. It used to be blue and quite big right here. It says new shortcut. Now we just have this transparent button, which allows you to, of course, create a new note. Now, when you go to create a new note, you will see right here, we have basically the describe, actually a shortcut, not a note, a shortcut. When you go to create a shortcut, you will basically be able to describe the shortcut and then it will create that for you. Or you can tap the edit button, which also has been changed. It used to be a different menu, now it says button, and this will take you to the basically old style of creating notes, not describing them, but just adding actions manually right here. Well, now Apple allows you to actually change that and basically choose which will be your default. You don't have to actually go here and just go to this interface if you just want to use this one instead. You can actually choose which one you want to do so. And to do that, you head on to the shortcut settings and you can see now we have open shortcuts to editor or describe a shortcut. Now basically you're setting the default page that you want to see right there. Of course, you will be able to switch between those also on the Shortcuts app, but your default will be the one that you choose right here. Moving on, under the accessibility settings, we have a new addition right here on the front page. We have live recognition. So now this has been moved to the front page of the accessibility settings, and of course all the different live recognition settings will be right here, from the default questions to use volume buttons to recapture and all that stuff. Everything will be right here on the front page, which makes it, of course, way more accessible for a lot of people. So you have it just right there once you go into the vision section for your accessibility settings. Moving on to the photo settings. Now we have also a few changes right here on the photo settings. When you go to the section of your apps on the settings app, you go to photos and then you go to view options. You will now have show rating controls. Basically, this displays the star rating on the photos and videos on your photos library. So they basically have a badge letting you know how many stars you have rated that photo or video. On the control center, we have now a new toggle to show borders, and you will be able to find that new toggle right here under vision accessibility. So if you just scroll down here, you will be able to find that, which actually does show a border around the items on the home screen of your device. That, of course, is a setting that has been added to iOS on iOS 26, but now you will be able to quickly enable it or disable it directly from the control center. And notice the borders right here displaying around the UI elements on the control center of the device. Another change here will be found on the lock screen. So if you go to lock screen right here, I know you cannot notice it because the wallpaper is dark here at the bottom, but the buttons now have actually changed on the control center. They have a tint behind them, which cannot be changed using the liquid glass settings on the settings app. I don't really like that, but hopefully it's just a bug or maybe something that Apple will change later on with the next betas. And if you go to the Find My app, once you have installed iOS 27 Beta 3 on your device, you will find this new splash screen letting you know what's new with Find My, flexible location sharing, redesigned Apple Watch app, and of course location improvements. So these are some more new features and changes that we have been able to discover on the third beta of iOS 27. And also a public beta is coming out really soon. In my opinion, it will happen on July 13th. So if you haven't already installed iOS 27 beta on your device and you're just waiting for the public beta, then you have to wait for less than a week now, because the 13th, maybe even the 14th, but most likely the 13th of July will be the day that Apple releases iOS 27 public beta. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next one.